Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Movie Cast. This time we will be talking about the ever so popular Prey movie, and we have an array of people here who's going to discuss this movie.
By the way,
Are we
Chris,
already having technical difficulties?
yeah,
Yeah,
Dana.
what happened?
I
Did no
couldn't
one
hear
hear me?
anything.
Though
No,
you
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 broke up.
started, yeah, you broke up. You started talking, and then
You hear
you
me?
just stopped talking. Yeah.
Okay, let's just try this again from the top. Yay! Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Movie Cast. My name is Dana, and I'm going to be your host as we discuss Prey, which is currently streaming on Hulu. I am joined by an array of people on this panelist. Let's start first with Chris Seeley. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Carlos Romero
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
and Mr. Tony Polanco.
Yo, yo, yo! What is going on, people?
Wonderful. Now, in spirit, I have Joey Polanco, who is Tony's son, wanted me to say that this was the greatest movie that has ever been made and that he does not understand where any of the hatred would come from. He wants a sequel, he wants another prequel, and he wants this franchise to continue for the next 10 years. That's your son.
Whoa,
So,
hold on. Is that a joke? Did he actually say that?
no, I have a text message from Joey.
He literally said it's the
He
greatest
wanted me to
movie.
read it.
You got to read that again. Hold on, because I'm calling shenanigans on this.
No shenanigans. You can, here's the text also. That's not my camera. But he said this was the greatest
Yeah.
movie ever. He wants this franchise to continue for the next 10 years. He absolutely loved it. It is his favorite movie ever and the favorite Predator movie. And he puts his bear stamp on it.
Wow. I need to
He
talk to
said,
him. I need to talk to this
I
man.
think he's trolling.
He has to be. No fucking way he means that. No way. But we'll get into it.
no. I spoke to him earlier. He was really excited and he really loved this.
Let me look at his
It is
Twitter
a
feed.
good
Yeah, I was
movie.
like, no, I don't know about that.
Go
I
look
don't
at
know
his
about that. I'm like, has this man never seen a movie before? Like, but anyway, whatever. Anyway, shout out to Joey Polanco
Wow.
and shout out to Richard Bailey Jr., obviously, who is with us in spirit, you know?
Richard also loved it, by the way.
Okay, I got to talk to
So
these men.
I guess
You got to be trolling right now. No way.
no, no
All
troll.
right. All right.
Nope, absolutely loved it. So we're sitting at the most vocal of shock, Mr. Polanco. Tony, how about we just get your immediate thoughts right away?
All right, my immediate thoughts on Prey. Okay, so full disclaimer, I went into this movie thinking it was going to be absolute hot trash because literally every Predator movie after 2 has been hot trash. That last one, what was it,
Mm-hmm.
Predators or The Predator, whatever. It, Danny, Dana, we saw that in a screening. Terrible fucking movie. That was bad. So I'm like, okay, I at least said the only glint of hope I had was like, it can't be worse than that. This movie was not on that level, thankfully. And I'll say this objectively, I'm taking myself out of the equation. Objectively, it was a good movie. It did what it needed to do, right? But personally, I thought it was just all right. Like these claims, because I've seen what Joey said. I've seen people make those type of statements. I'm like, you guys are fucking crazy. This is just an all right movie. There's some issues I have with it that we'll get into, but I thought it was just all right. It wasn't offensive or anything like that. But you can't compare this to the original. You know, like even part 2, which I had some problems with. This movie is not on that level. But by default, it's the third best Predator movie just because how trashy the other ones were. So that's my opinion. It's just all
Wow,
right.
wow, that's something we will dive into. Mr. Vapor Rub, what about you?
Um, Also, like Tony, I went in with pretty low expectations just because it was a straight to Hulu movie. Obviously, there's things about the reasons why that's the case. I don't know if we'll talk about those during the show, but as far as the movie, I came in with sort of low expectations, probably not as low as Tony, but pretty low. Um, I did, I've watched the Predator movies like everyone else, but for me, it's been since I was a kid since I watched those movies, so I could barely remember what even happened. So I was kind of it's kind of a semi blank slate. So I thought the movie was it was pretty good. I mean, it's not something to say. It's not to go crazy like what Joey said, but it's a pretty fine movie. On I think out of anything, the best part of this movie was the cinematography. That movie looked beautiful. The way it was shot. It
Hmm.
reminded me of the Revenant. A lot of the Revenant kind of aspect of it. It had a lot of there were some bad parts actually with the CGI that I had some small complaints with.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, it's just it's a fine movie. It's a pretty good, decent movie. I enjoyed my time, but it's not something that I'm gonna say is terrible or amazing. It just falls in between, kind of just pretty good.
Oh, okay. Just pretty good. Mr. Stanley?
Yeah. So I thought the movie was just it's an okay movie. There's good parts and bad parts. It's well shot. I thought the Predator looked cool. He looked very different from the original two movies. Uh, and his tech was interesting because it's, I guess, lower grade than the modern movies, but it's 300 years in the past, so that kind of makes sense in some way, even though they still have space travel. Uh, the pacing was bad. Uh, the acts kind of are clunky. I don't know how many times where I count the act markers when she gets knocked out. Every time this chick gets knocked out, there's a new act in the movie. So there's that. I had a hard time since I've watched the original. I love the original movie. To me, there's only two Predator movies. It's the first two, and the second one's not that great. The first one's like fucking a masterpiece. So I have a hard time in my brain that Arnold Schwarzenegger had a hard time fighting the Predator. He looked like a child trying to fight like a professional boxer. It was like that matchup, and that this 100-pound wet girl somehow could manage to take on this thing. Even at the end of the film, I mean, we'll get into spoiler territory
We
later,
will definitely get into that part because
but
I got some shit to say about that. But
and
go on.
also there were I don't know. I didn't like her character. I don't care if she has a dog. It doesn't make her likable. I don't like that trick. Uh, she's completely wooden in her acting. She has no range of emotions, and her arc through the movie is that yes, um she's not like perfect at everything. She does get her ass handed to her multiple times. She gets beat up and whatnot, but there's no progression of her. She has the same energy level in the beginning of the movie that she has at the end of the movie, and that makes no sense to me.
Oh, Jesus. I thought it was a really great movie. I thought it was one of the best Predator movies. It was watchable. So that right there, you automatically get a point. And I really liked her story. And I liked the fact that they took it back to the 1700s. I thought that was really original, and kind of unique. The tech, obviously, I felt was scaled down because, again, this was a prequel. And so it's not as advanced as when we just watched the previous Predator movie, but I thought it was pretty good. I liked the aspect of the dog. I know that it was kind of a gimmick, but I thought that worked kind of in the way that the movie was set up. But now that I'm kind of listening to what everyone is saying, there were flaws. So we can kind of go into some more of those flaws and open it up to more what the plot is about. So anyone wants to talk about what was it that they felt that completely did not make it top?
Say
Tony.
that last part
Did not
again,
make what? Sorry.
Dana. Can I make
Yeah.
what?
not make
Uh,
this movie top tier.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. So I'll start, and I do want to make this disclaimer before I went in. I needed to know if this was an actual movie that was planned for theatrical release, or if it was just a straight, or if it was always conceived as a Hulu movie. Because that, I know that may be like parsing like things too nitpicky, but to me that's important, right? Because if this was a straight to Hulu movie, I would judge it very differently than in a theatrical movie. As I found out, it actually was supposed to be a theatrical movie, but because of some shenanigans going on in the scene, basically Disney was petty. If this movie would have come out in theaters, it would have been streamed on HBO Max. Disney didn't want that, so they were like, let's dump that on Hulu because Disney owns Hulu. So I'm judging this movie as a full release in theaters. That's why I'm quote unquote being harsh on it. If it was a made for TV movie, I'll probably be a little bit more forgiving of it, right? Um, with that said, one of my problems was among many, right, was the girl, right? Because here's the thing, and I'm only really counting the first two Predator movies. Those are more movies don't fucking count. Those movies never had an emphasis on one character. We're going to go through this character's journey, and then all of a sudden, a predator shows up. It's just like, okay, here's these people, and they have to deal with the predator, right? So this movie is more about the girl and her personal journey because she wants to be a war chief. By the way, I question that part. I'm like, did they even have women war chiefs and shit? Was that even a thing, right? But let's not get too much into that. But
Yes.
but if there was, cool, right? But it was basically too much focus on her journey. Like when we saw the first Predator, it wasn't about Arnold Schwarzenegger's journey. It's just here's these dudes who are doing, their job, and a fucking predator shows up. He's trying to kill him, so now they got to fight this monster, right? And this one is just like, oh, I need to become a huntress or whatever, so I'm gonna just find this thing, like she's hunting the predator. And it seemed really weird. And like Chris said, very wooden. Like I didn't hate her, obviously. And I'll just be honest, she's a really pretty girl, so that kind of helped things out. Even though I didn't care for her character, I like looking at her, just being real, just being real. Amber Mid Thunder, very attractive woman, so that helped me forgive a lot of things. But very wooden acting, it wasn't very compelling. I didn't really care for her story. I like the dog. I'll admit that I like the dog. That helped out a little bit. Like I know it's a cheap plot device, but dogs are fucking cool. I like dogs, so I let that slide. But yeah, and I'm just gonna jump into it now. So one of my problems was, speaking about characters, the Predator was a fucking problem for me, right? In the first Predator movie, and even the second one, the Predator was a very cunning creature, right? Or being. He would never directly attack shit, right? And this one, he's directly fighting wolves and bears and shit, and just running at people with guns. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I understand your technology is lesser. You should be more careful. But he's just barreling into shit. You see green predator blood flying everywhere. It's like I believe the only reason this girl won is because she dealt with the stupidest predator in history. This guy was a moron. Even the ending, like the way he takes himself, like, yo, bro, you should realize there's a fucking mark on your head.
right.
Like come on now. And by the way, just skipping to that, yeah, that was so you mean to tell me this predator was able to take out a whole platoon of dudes, granted with muskets, no problem. And then this 100-pound girl, wet, was able to not only murk all those guys, but then kill the predator. She's doing all Arnold, like Chris said, Arnold couldn't even hang. He like when he tried to fight the predator physically, one punch, he was out. But this girl, nothing. Everything's just fine. There was even a point where she pulls this thing must weigh like 500, 700 pounds, right? She pulls him down. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I understand there's a suspension of disbelief. There's a fucking alien monster running around, obviously, but it's like human physiology shouldn't be something that we just throw out the window. She's not a superhero, so that really just bugged me, but yeah, the predator and stuff, I don't think a lot of people are talking about. He was a moron. He was stupid. Like, there's a fucking bear. You just I'm gonna run and kill the bear. Like, if it was an actual predator, he would hunt and stalk the shit, be out of the way, and kill it stealthily. Aim your fucking shit at it and take it out from afar. Don't just run at it. So the predator really bugged the shit out of me. He was very, very stupid.
Jesus.
Um,
Carlos?
I I don't kind of you know, I always have suspension of disbelief with these type with action movies. I love I grew up with action movies. I love action movies, but when I watch them back, they're always kind of stupid. It's just the adventure. It's like Chris mentioned the the character arc for the girl. I'm like, I wasn't expecting one because it was an action movie. I mean, Mad Max didn't have a character arc for Mad Max, and that's one of the
Oh,
best action
oh no,
movies ever
no.
made.
I didn't say character arc. I said energy level, meaning you watch a movie, a superior movie like Die Hard or Predator, where these characters have been fighting the entire movie, and by the end they're exhausted, they're beaten, and they still have to overcome obstacles. Right? This girl looked like she had just done her hair, got out of the shower, and then she just decided to jump into forest and fight the predator. She talks with the exact same tone. She's never out of breath, never tired, never really bloodied, even though I swear she gets hit in the face more than any other character in the movie. I mean, her own tribe punches her. The freaking the trappers hit her with a musket in the face. The predators, I'm pretty sure, hit her one time. She almost got killed by a bear, but never out of breath. I can barely run to the mailbox without getting exhausted now. I'm getting old. So I know if you had fought the predator for 3 or 4 days consecutively, you'd probably be a little tired.
Well, I mean, there's legendary tribes that run marathons on a daily basis. So I don't know.
I don't think she was doing that, to
Well,
be honest.
I don't know. I don't think that's important for me. I thought you said character arc, so yeah. I guess we'll have to see the tape. I don't know.
Yeah,
The my biggest issue with it was the way that they set her up. I feel like they should have set her up as a prodigy. That was just being neglected because she's a woman. I felt like that would have been and obviously some of that is still prevalent, but she kind of like they made her seem like she was just someone that wanted to be a great warrior instead of someone that wasn't allowed to show that she was a great warrior. Um, and
good point.
but yeah, the dog.
Hmm.
I love the dog. I don't I'm a dog fan. So I appreciate the dog. The brother was really cool. I felt like he was a badass. I felt like one of the main reasons why she even had a chance, and I felt like they portrayed it in the movie, is because the brother freaking did a lot. Obviously, he saved her life a couple of times. Um, with the whole predator stuff, that was a pretty badass fight with him in the horse, and the way he died was pretty sad. But but yeah, I felt like the way that she was initially portrayed was my biggest issue with the movie. It's like they should have made her a prodigy, that this was what she was meant to do, instead of someone that says, "Oh, I just want to hunt. I want to be a hunter, so I'm going to take on the most impressive being anybody in our tribe's history has ever taken, or humanity's history has ever taken." Uh, you know, I've instead of struggling with a what is it called, a mountain lion. So yeah, I that's my biggest issue. Other than that, I felt like it was pretty decent. The stuff with the predator, um, I felt like some stuff was cool. I do agree the fight with a bear. I mean, if you want to portray the predator as someone that's more of a higher intellect, then yeah, they should have just taken it out from a distance, because it could have easily done that. I think that the reason why they did it, and I don't agree with it, but is because they wanted to show a badass scene where he picks up a fucking bear.
Exactly what it is for. It's like let's throw logic out the window for something cool. That's literally what it was for.
Mm-hmm.
See, I always thought that it was supposed to be more about the girl was the smartest one of the kind of the tribe, and they wouldn't, just because she was a girl, they wouldn't let her lead or be a part of it. So I thought that the whole movie was to show her intelligence versus
Well,
a technology of Predator.
but Dana, here's the thing with the movie. They even established this in the beginning. She had trouble killing a freaking rabbit.
Yeah.
She couldn't get a rabbit, and then she struggled with a mountain lion, and
And
then
that bear
somehow,
almost killed her.
yeah,
I mean,
the bear
if
should
the
have killed her.
yeah, by all rights, the predator, the plot armor kicked in, and the predator, ultimate warrior, dead bear. Uh,
Yeah.
she would have been dead. So she's not. She wants to hunt, and her brother's trying to temper her, like saying, "Hey, I had to carry you back. You've messed up with the lion. He gets the lion." and then she then defies everyone again, runs out in the woods, and then almost gets killed by the bear. And then what happens after that? She gets captured by the French fur trappers.
Yeah, it's just
Advisors.
yeah, it's a thing about motivation, and it's a thing with the way that she was set up. Like if I keep mentioning this, if she was a prodigy that just wasn't allowed to show her skills, then I felt like it would have been a better plot for her motivations to do
Mhm.
what she did in this
Yeah,
story.
that's a good point. I didn't think about it. You're right. So she was messing up, and then all of a sudden at the end, she kills the fucking predator. Like what? Really?
Yeah.
And even the way
See,
she
I
killed him
thought
wasn't
because the
very.
whole part of the movie.
No, go on.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry. No, continue.
No, 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 no. Go ahead. I
No,
want
I
you to finish.
thought because the whole time of the no, the whole part of the movie was to show she cannot go hand to hand, face to face, or do combat very well with something that is bigger and stronger than her, and yes, even with the rabbit. And so the whole movie was about her figuring out intellectually how to take him down.
yeah,
No?
but she
But
didn't
she
use
didn't.
any of the skills that she presented in the movie that she's proficient at. What did we see her do? We see her treat a warrior who's been mauled by the lion, right? She puts salve in his wound, and she feeds him those little orange petals, which play a part later. Apparently, they cool the body down so then the predator can't see you, right? So that's her skill. She knows how to heal and herbs and all that stuff. Why didn't she use more of that to fight the predator at the end? She set up traps and she sets his mask up to have him target himself, right? I guess that was her plan all along. But then they had her combat him directly. They should have had her, I don't know, grind up flowers and blow it in his face and like and then slide around and run away and set off all sorts of traps until she gets him in the stupid quicksand and then
Yeah,
has that scene. No, no, directly trying to hatchet him from 30 yards up in the air off a tree or all that ridiculous bullshit. It should have been her cleverly leading him through a series of traps she set up, using her knowledge, the things that she is good at, which is medicine and knowing herbs, right? And knowing the land. And then getting him in the quicksand trap and right, killing him. That would have made more sense.
yeah. Again, even Arnold didn't directly fight the predator because when he tried to, he got fucked up. You know,
Right.
like come on now. It's like there's only so much you could suspend here. And by the
She
way, and I hate doing this. But Carl, since you already did it, I'm gonna do it because I don't like
Mhm.
going. Oh, the movie should have been like this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. See what I wanted this movie to be like. It's like, oh, there's this tribe of Native Americans that have to fight this predator, and I know that's kind of borrowing the plot of the first movie, but I thought that would have been more interesting. Than this girl would have been more of like a side character. She's the one that's kind of healing him up, and then maybe at the end she does kill him with all her like knowledge and shit, right? I get that, but it
Oh,
like I think it would be better if we would have had like a tribe trying to cleverly fight this thing and getting killed and stuff instead of just like this superwoman. They're like all of a sudden, oh, I'm gonna go head to head with the predator, even though Arnold couldn't fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would have been more interesting. But let us introduce Mr. Joey Polanco, who just stepped up. I know you saw that tweet because and Joey, I'm gonna keep it real, man. Because when Dana read your text, I was like, all me, Chris, and Carl's like, get the fuck out of here with that. So I'm glad you're here to vouch for this movie because right now, just so you know, me, Carlos, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, we all think the movie's just okay.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't, yeah. So that's where we're at.
My bad. I apologize because I'm covered in paperwork right now. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So I was told you guys did not like it.
It's not that I didn't like it. It's just I thought the movie was okay. And right now we're just talking about how um
Hated it.
this girl just suddenly just has the power to beat the predator hand to hand. Whereas when Arnold tried to go hand to hand, he got fucked up. So we're like, okay, how you gonna And then Chris was just saying it would have been more satisfying if instead of her fighting the predator directly, she would have used a bunch of cool traps to eventually get him to that spot where he's like trapped in the mud and stuff. Although, as I said earlier, I thought the predator in this movie was a fucking moron, right? Like the first two predators, they were smart and cunning. They would have fought a bear directly. They would have done
Yeah.
shit like that, or like, hey, there's a bunch of men with guns. I'm gonna run at them. I'm like, no, that's not how you're supposed to work, you fucking moron.
Yeah.
You know?
I think towards the ending when she fought the predator, I think there was distinct difference between how she fought him and how her brother fought him. He went hand to hand. She used more of her environment and used his helmet as traps. Because when she did fight him for that bit, she was getting mopped a bit. And if it wasn't for those two rocks, she would have been beheaded real quick. I feel like she used more of her environment, similar to how she used similar to like the cheetah on top of the tree.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough though. Like she shouldn't have gone hand to hand with him at all. That's what we're saying. That's
Yeah.
completely unbelievable. It's, again, especially when Arnold couldn't fucking do it. You know, like the whole thing should have been just nothing but traps.
I think with her, there was a few times she did get lucky, or it would have been
a few, yeah,
real fast.
You know, it's like, come on, you're supposed to believe this 100-pound girl could do all this shit. Come on now, you know.
I got the floor.
Yeah, it's all yours, brother. I just wanted to catch up on what we've been talking about. You know?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I think here, so I think this was more about the actual predator and more about the big hunt, her big hunt. It just so happens that Predator is in this movie. I know that sounds weird.
By the way, Joey, real quick, that's my problem with this movie. I felt that it was too much about her when it's just should have been, we need to stop the Predator. It has always been like that. Like we've never had, like we didn't hear Arnold's fucking journey or Danny Glover's journey. It was just, these are the guys who need to take care of the situation, right? So just the fact that, and this is a personal thing, that it was about her, like it was just her journey. I was like, no, this shouldn't be like that. It should be about, how do we take out this Predator?
This is very comparable to his last movie, because he also did 10 Cloverfield Lane, which had nothing to do with the Cloverfield monster, but it had to do with Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I don't know if you guys seen 10 Cloverfield
I skipped
Lane.
That. And when I saw that, it was with John Goodman, right? It was like, I was like,
but it had nothing to do with the monster.
That's a problem.
Yeah. So I could see that being a turnoff for many people. So I can tell you guys are not alone in this.
Yeah, okay. So I just wanted to catch up to see. Go ahead, bro.
Go on.
Now go on, Joey. What you think of, like, her character and all the other stuff?
No, my thing was, I'm glad, even like from 20 minutes in or whatever, I'm glad it wasn't called Predator. I'm glad it wasn't like, hey, this is like a key mark movie. Soon Arnold's going to be coming in the after credits. And I'm glad this was like, okay, this was set sideways. I really did enjoy this. I know for many, this wasn't in a movie theater and this wasn't a thing for many. I know many people didn't see it like in a blazing surround sound and stuff, but I really dug it inside and out. I was actually surprised how much I did like it. I did laugh a bit at the ending credits where the little animation is happening at the end, kind of showing like, yo, y'all gonna get wiped out. Y'all gonna get squashed when the next 3 ships appear. And it's like, damn. She kind of hinted at that at the end. But no, I really dig it. I just hope no sequels. Leave it at this. We're done here. Leave this just as is.
Question for you. When she said, because this is the way I interpret it, when she said that we need to leave here, I didn't take that as like the Predator's coming. It's more like, hey, the white man is coming. We need to get the fuck out. That's the way I kind of interpreted it as.
Yeah, well, she kind of, I took it more of like, hey, there's just new dangers ahead. And most of their men were wiped out. So these are the next few people she had to train. It's like, yo, we're not good here. Whoever comes, we're not good here. So I kind of saw it as like anything coming, we're not prepared for. So it's like, yeah, y'all gonna get wiped out real fast. Good thing the credits are right here.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. One thing I want to ask Joey is, because he wasn't here when I mentioned my thoughts about it. I'm curious what you would think if the premise of the show was that she was a prodigy in the making, sort of, a hunter, prodigy, instead of sort of someone that was struggling to kill a rabbit like because for me, my biggest issue, and I didn't hate this movie. I thought it was a pretty good movie overall. But uh, I think my biggest issue was sort of the way they set her character up. Like if they would have set her up as she was a prodigy, someone that was pretty much an equal to her brother from the beginning, uh, it would have been. I felt like it would have been better instead of someone that we're supposed to. Obviously, we suspend belief for all of these types of movies, but suspending belief from one day not being able to catch a rabbit to the next day killing a predator is kind of pretty big leap for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, my thing with that is like if they would have made her identical to the brother, then I think they both would have suffered the same fate because even some of their moves were the same. But similar to like the beginning of the movie where he shot the eagle in midair, and she
Yeah.
was just like, "Yo, why didn't you just wait until it was closer?" So they kind of already started from the beginning, like, "Yo, you act on instinct," and she's just sitting back and thinking. Which is why towards the ending she used more of her environments as opposed to the brother who fought him head on, and he was doing a good job. He was actually going toe to toe, but then
Well,
we all know what
to be
happened.
fair, the whole point of her story is that she took everything head on. She went directly to the lion. She went directly to the predator. Like
Yeah, the thing was like similar to like the bear. Like she messed up with the bear.
yeah.
The
Oh
bear
yeah.
was gonna squash it.
Yeah.
But that was her, like the entire movie from the other guy saying, "Yo, you're weak. Lay back, stay back. We got this, etc. You're weak." And she's trying to like prove herself. And even though she did win on head on with the dude, she still got laid out a few times. Even with the I'm just gonna call them the white boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Princeton.
similar to like the bear. Actually, if it wasn't for Predator, she would have been dead.
Oh yeah.
By the way, that scene kind of bugged me too. It's like the Predator took out this entire, it's like she's as good as the Predators. Like she took out like 5 dudes with muskets, like nothing, just like the Predator. It's like, I don't know about all that.
That scene was popping.
Nah, it was stupid. I didn't like.
No, I'm
that
talking
scene.
about the Predator scene. I'm talking
Oh no,
about
that scene was cool. Even though again, I was like, why is the Predator running at these dudes? Like, it's like I don't know. Anyway, go on. But I'm with Carlos on this one. It's like she did face things heads on. Even like remember the beginning where she was trying to catch the elk or whatever, and it runs. She runs after him like that's not. You're not supposed to do that. You let it go and you go stalk another one. You don't just run after it.
By the way, that was my biggest issue with the CGI. That elk scene.
Oh,
it was
hold on.
really bad.
The lion didn't look that good either.
No. Animal
Bear.
CGI in general was bad. I'm like, I understand, like, you have safety standards, but back in the day, we used to have fucking animals in movies, like even bears and shit.
Only her dog was real.
Yeah, that was the only one. I know I'm kind of skipping. I could not stand to see the animal CG in this movie. It looked terrible. Have a real bear. Have a real lion. We've had these things in movies before.
No, I know the shot that bugged me was actually the first time you do see Predator, where you see the ship going past the screen, and then you see him camouflage standing up, but his animation looks a little like,
yeah,
like, what? That was one of the only parts I was like, okay. And then the snake was like, okay, I could tell that snake is not all right.
That scene was done too. So in that one little 1 foot square, there was an ant, a mouse, and a snake. I'm like, okay, come on now, what are we doing here? That was silly.
But I do like that this is not that advanced form of Predator we do see in the other movies. With the
I don't have a problem with that. He's just stupid. That's the problem.
Yeah. This is like 100 years before though.
But they still have space travel.
They still have space travel. He shouldn't be. No, but I'm saying even if it's a more stripped back Predator, he shouldn't have been a moron. Like hunting principles apply, to everything. I'm gonna run at everything,
Yeah, he runs at everything. Even though he camos himself, he completely blows his cover multiple times. Like when he ripped apart the bear, he's just coated in blood. So what's the point of having your camouflage on? You should have just turned it off and killed the bear.
He does that multiple times. I know one thing when he was in the middle of the field and he killed the hold on. What was that? It was like a fox. He was like,
there's a wolf.
Oh, there was a wolf. It was a wolf. Yeah.
But this entire time I'm like, yo, is my man gonna be camouflaged the entire movie? Because we're like half an hour in. It's like, yo, you're in the middle of a field. Do I really need to like? We're just gonna do this the whole movie. I thought they were kind of skimping out on a few things, but yeah,
Yo,
I
yeah,
later.
actually,
that's
I
a good
actually like the
point.
wolf scene. I thought it was like brutal. I'm like, oh, dude.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Didn't
But
work for me.
the camera
CG
wasn't
was
necessary
bad.
because the
Yeah, the
wolf
CG
knew
was
where he was. So
same thing with the
what
bear.
did
I was just about to say same thing with the animals could see him. You don't need the camera. The
Well, they
animals
can't.
can
They can't.
sense
They
you. They
can't see him. They
can
can. They
sense
can
you.
smell him.
They can smell. So I'm like,
they
take
know
it.
where he
Yeah,
is? So it doesn't
yeah,
make sense. It's not
yeah. That was
helping you.
stupid.
By
That
the
It was
was
way,
just for
I
our
just
sake.
I just want to clarify that yeah, I do agree. You know, this that suspension of disbelief that they're kind of dumb. The way I feel like if you're a species that goes into a primitive species, like those tribes, or even the original predator, people that those army dudes. If you're an interstellar traveling species, there's no all of it is dumb. There's no way some fucking puny humans are going to take you out in
yeah.
any fucking movie. I don't care which one it is.
no,
So so I think just in general, all of that is kind of dumb. That a human would take someone out that's that advanced.
Yeah,
My
unless
theory.
unless the predator's like stripping himself down on purpose, because they remember they that's the whole their societal things. Like we need to go to these primitive planets and survive a hunt. You know what
and
I'm
find the
saying?
Well,
apex predator.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
I thought
exactly.
they were
Like I'm
gonna
pretty
do
sure.
that.
Yeah, imagine if this thing brought. I'm talking about Predator in general right now. If they bring their war weapons, it's over. So I'm even in Predator 1 and 2, they're using more stripped down shit. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because they need to be. How do I phrase this? They need to go to a planet and be like, "Hey, I can get killed too." That's part of their society. It's not like they're just overwhelmingly powerful. They're pretty fucking powerful, but their prey still has to have a chance of taking them out. You know?
Mhm.
Well, I thought they were gonna do the thing like Predator 2. Remember when Harrigan and the Predator faced off in the ship, and he
Yeah,
took off all his shit, and it just had blades. Like,
yeah,
okay, so he made it more of a fair fight, right? He took off his cannon and all that shit, and they just were fighting. Harrigan had his kind of spinny blade thing.
yeah.
I thought they were going to do that here. It's like, okay, these people just have hatchets and bows and arrows, right? And he launches those things at the fur trappers. He takes off his thing, which I thought, oh, he's immediately going for the nuclear explosion because
That's
he
what I thought
messed.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, but it just launched these little probes and they pulled back, and I was like, why are you pulling back? We have such brutality in this movie. Can't you just show them blowing up? Like, why did we need a pan out shot? Oh, we can't see what these little probes were doing. They just blew up, I guess. They killed everyone.
they
But
they may
Did
not have
he?
had that nuclear bomb yet at that point.
That's
So
what
I
I
did.
was thinking.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
That's
yeah, but just show. I didn't get why they didn't
I
show
feel you. I
what
feel
the
you.
probes. It and I figured at the end of the movie, although my theory was he got dumber by Act 3 because she shot him in the back of the head, and I figured maybe she removed some of his brains when she blew his mask off. I'm like, well,
Yeah,
he's acting pretty stupid, but I guess he got shot in the head, so maybe
Yeah, because
that's why.
it's
yeah.
because
You
of
know, thinking about it. Oh, go ahead, Jolie.
the orange flower.
Yeah, no, but you're right about that. Like there was a scene earlier where his helmet was already off. He's shooting, and the shots are obviously not going where to go. To what he should be like, oh shit,
Yeah,
he should know. Oh, I don't have my helmet on. These things aren't going to go where I want them to.
Too,
You
yeah.
know?
yeah.
Also,
They sent the third cousin.
Yeah, I think so. Something was up with this predator.
Yeah, but that's
correct.
when she was in the back and she peeped. Like, wait a minute. So it shoots from that. Got it. So that's what she aimed for to
Yeah,
take.
that was smart of her, but stupid of him. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
correct me if I'm wrong, because I feel like I think Tony mentioned something that piqued my interest, because I felt like at the final act, in the scene where the quicksand is, I thought she took the flowers to make herself invisible to the heat
She did.
sensors.
Yeah,
Yes, she
she
did.
She
did.
did
She did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
she
lower
Okay,
did.
her
okay,
body temperature.
yeah.
gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay, I just wanted
Mhm.
to confirm that.
Yeah,
Cool.
She
yeah,
did.
yeah. It's
Also
crazy because my
smart.
brother saw it and he asked me too. Like, wait, what? Why can't she see him? I'm like, yo, you watching the movie or not?
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. Because I thought she was gonna do what Arnold did and cover himself in mud, but she took the flowers. I thought that was really cool.
Which was an accident on
It was
Arnold's
an
part.
accident. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it was. You're right because he fell into mud and he's like,
and
"Oh shit, he can't see
yeah, yeah,
me."
yeah. So that was an accident.
Yeah, I have a question for you guys though. Okay, remember there was a scene where the predator finds her and he doesn't kill her because she can't fight back, but then he kills the fur trapper. who couldn't
Oh,
fight
the
back.
guy who had lost his leg, the one she helped. Yeah,
So my question is, it was because the way I had to rationalize, like he was already hunting this dude earlier, so he needed to finish off what he started. And with the girl, he just started hunting her. He didn't
Wait,
wound her or anything. So I'm
the
just trying to
translator?
Yeah,
no
yeah, the fur
no no
trapper guy, right? Who
yeah,
no,
he's
uses
the
not
the
the
gun.
translator.
translator, not the translator. I'm
Oh,
talking about the fat guy with the cigar. Remember,
Oh,
oh,
remember she
yeah, yeah,
chops off his leg and shit, right? So the rats
yeah.
are eating it and stuff. So
Oh, but
the
she tricked him. He picked up his musket,
yeah,
right?
he's
The
oh,
predator
okay,
shooting
didn't
the
know it
gun.
was
yeah,
non-functional, right? She
gotcha.
took the
Okay,
powder
yeah,
out. Yeah.
So
yeah.
without detecting the body temperature, he thinks it's shooting right at the predator. So he's like, all
Yeah.
right,
Okay. Okay. Because I was a little confused by that, but because I was like the musket didn't have anything, but the predator's like, oh, that's a gun. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's when she stood there and just took one side to the left when he passed by, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
damn,
Yeah.
that was smart.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I thought,
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about the translator
No. No. No.
that
No.
one, because that dude, I felt like the predator was like,
Well,
oh
yeah,
shit.
I don't know
Yeah.
why
No.
he
That's what it was. It
brutalized
was
that
like, what the
guy.
fuck?
yeah. I
You
thought
know?
it was just an instinct thing. Like, all
Oh
right, he
yeah. Oh yeah.
screamed.
Oh yeah. 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 It was instinct. Like we're like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah, there was a dude in one of the groups that got Wolverined straight through from his. I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
do
was
want to
cool.
jump on that. Because a lot of people are saying, oh man, these are the best deaths in Predator. But the thing is, since they were so overly reliant on CG, it took
Yeah,
me out of it. You
yeah.
know,
That
like even the yeah.
the technology. I mean, it's not a fair assessment because the technology is. I mean,
Well,
back
I
then we
thought,
were
We
using
had brutal deaths.
47.
Did you see Predator 2? Those are some brutal fucking
well,
deaths
they
with
Yeah, but
1990s technology, you know?
but
there was
prosthetics and stuff.
there
Here
was a
it's just
miss
CG.
there was a
Yeah.
missed opportunity because if you're going to parallel the original movies, why did the predator not take the fur trappers and skin them like in the original movie? Remember when Arnold's team
Yeah.
finds
Mm.
Hopper's men and they're tied up upside down in the trees and
Ooh.
they're all
Yeah.
skinned alive, right? Oh, well, they're not alive anymore.
Yeah.
But there's an opportunity to have a parallel. And then
Yeah.
so the other missed opportunity is
Hold
like
on, Chris, real quick. Poetic justice. Remember, because they skin all the buffaloes. So imagine if
right.
you had these motherfuckers skin. That would have been dope. Yeah.
Yeah, that also yes, they skinned all the buffalo and yeah, they left them rotting in the field. The
Yeah, see
uh
the eyeball.
the other thing too is like okay, if she wants to be a war chief is a leader, right?
Yeah.
Why did she not try to take charge of the hunters and form a team to go after the predator?
Because they
Like
weren't
she was doing
listening to her.
They weren't
everything
gonna.
by
Yeah, they
herself.
weren't gonna. Yeah, they
Well,
wouldn't have listened to her. Yeah.
They weren't
yeah,
listening.
but they she should have been able to accomplish that. You're not a leader if you cannot rally people to your cause. And in any instance, if she's to overcome, it's like, oh, I'm a woman, you should listen to me. And they go, no. Well, then she has to prove herself and go, hey, this situation requires that we all come together. We're all dead. And that was missing in the movie. She just handles everything by herself, and so she walks in at the end with a green bleed blood all over her and this green head. What are people supposed to think? It's like, what the fuck is that? What did
Yeah,
you
exactly.
do?
That was silly. But I agree with you. It would have been more interesting if she was the one that kind of rallied them to like, hey, we're gonna go hunt this motherfucking beast. That would have been cool because again, what I personally wanted to see was the tribe against this monster. Not just, oh, this girl, she has the power to fight a predator. Like, get out of here with that bullshit.
I gotta give this movie credit on this aspect because there's a lot of unbelievable things, but a bunch of dude warriors not following a woman like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty realistic.
Oh yeah, no, that's realistic. So it would have been more. Again, I hate jumping into like, oh, this is what they should have done. But like, it would have been interesting if she had done something. They'd be like, okay, let's listen to this bitch because you want that struggle, right? She wants them to listen. They don't fucking listen. Something happened. She's like, okay, we need to listen to her now. That would have been kind of more interesting to me. You know what I'm
But,
saying?
but I think that's kind of what happens throughout the whole movie, though. Slowly. I don't think they really listen to her. I mean, until they find out when she's tied up, and that's when they learn, yo, the dude is real. Besides that, yeah, they're not listening to her at all. They're listening to the brother.
Yeah.
At the end, she becomes war chief. I honestly believe she literally only becomes war chief because there's no one left.
Yeah, I mean the brother's dead, so
All those
but
dudes are
Oh,
dead.
all those
That's
dudes are
good point.
dead.
Everyone
Yeah.
out.
I do have a question though, and this is something I didn't get, but maybe you guys did. Do you? I didn't feel like she wanted to be like I didn't feel like her motivation was to be chief. Was it was I never got it from the movie.
I
Yeah,
think she just wanted to be the like a hunter, right? That was
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Yes,
she
because the
she
brother.
wanted to. She was looking at. There was a few scenes when she sees the brother come with all this different stuff, and he was so reliable, and people every time they see him, she wanted to get that attention. Like, damn, I want to be like reliable. I'm over here smashing plants and all that. Like, she wanted to be one of those. Yeah, she wanted to be a hunter, but she wanted to perform her big hunts, which was like, okay,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
why I feel like, okay, so we can't have a sequel. We're done. You accomplished your thing. We're here.
Yeah, I mean, and also how it's not like a Predator comes out every week.
Yeah. You
So
know.
so yeah, I feel like as a standalone, I think it's pretty fine just like that. Especially since sequels in general just aren't that good.
Yeah, don't make a sequel to this. Leave it alone. It's
Leave it.
like I said. I said this at the top,
Yeah.
Joey. Objectively, it's a good movie. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. I have
Well,
my issues with it, but leave it alone. You know.
if they stuck in the member berry from Predator 2, wouldn't that automatically imply the Predators kill all of them and take the gun?
Yeah, that is also true.
That's why I was saying this time is short lived because they ain't gonna last long. It kind of
Yeah,
foreshadows like, yo, y'all gonna get wiped real fast, real soon.
yeah.
It's
That
three
is the
more
gun
years.
from Predator 2, right, Chris?
That's the gun that Harrigan gets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Predators
Okay,
Yeah,
kill
yeah.
him.
confirmed. Yeah,
That's where you see the gun.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know
that's
there was an
cool.
after credit scene in this in this
No,
movie.
no,
No,
it
not an
it's
after
part of the
credits, it's
credits
part of the
animation.
credits.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not an after credit.
You just have to, if you're watching it on Hulu, just make sure you hit back so it doesn't go to the next movie or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
What I saw that like up next thing, and I'm like, all right, closing this real quick.
Yeah, yeah. So just
Oh
back out
yeah,
of that.
no,
And
yeah.
I
It
saw
covers up
animation. Like,
everything.
oh, what's going on here? But no, there's no after credits. Just
Yeah, I thought it was a
scene.
recap at first, but then I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait, this hasn't happened yet. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. But then the ending of that animation, you see 3 predator ships coming. It's like,
I took that as a metaphor because like predators don't really come in force like that, you know. Like
They-
unless it's something big, but it's like they're fucking primitives. You wouldn't be doing.
they got the text like, yo, come through.
Damn, man, they took a homie. You know?
Yeah, it's a wrap.
They pour
Yeah.
that green
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Well, also I had a problem with the setting of this movie because in every other movie they always point out that predators are attracted to combat and war.
Ooh, yeah.
None of
yeah,
those
yeah.
things are happening in the northern Great Plains in 1719, right? There's nothing happening. As a matter of fact, all those cinematic, beautiful shots, there's a whole lot of nothing happening. So you have this predator looking at snakes, looking at wolves, looking at elk, looking at bears, but there's no war, right? Wouldn't it have made sense for him to land in Europe or I don't know, Asia or somewhere? There's a war is happening at that time.
Where's the original Predator set?
It was set in like some South American country where some war
Country,
was going on, and
Yeah.
then like the second one was like, even though it's funny, like set in the future of
Of
1997,
LA, yeah.
but LA was like all fucked up in there, so it was like
Yeah.
a perfect place for a predator to go. But you're right, like there was no war going on, like even like because like the Native Americans fought each other all the time, but like at that point there weren't that many of them left because of white people. So there was no big wars going on either. But maybe this is just Tony headcanon, right? I'm making up on the spot. Maybe at that point in Predator history, they were just like, just go to a planet and fuck shit up. And then maybe later on, they were like, okay, that's too easy. You can't just be going to a planet and just fighting little bears and shit. You need to go to where there's a war and some crazy shit going on, Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm just making it up on the spot,
Yeah.
So I can forgive that little spot, but that's a good observation. Because right, it's like the predator was chilling, he's on vacation. Hunt some snakes, some bears.
Taking a spine off a wolf.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm just chilling right now, But I will say this one: I didn't feel the movie had like a sense of urgency, like it just seemed kind of lackadaisical in a way. Like everybody's just like, I'm gonna go. Like the predator was like, I'm just gonna go hunt some shit. The girl's like, I'm gonna go hunt this thing just for my own edification or whatever. Like whereas with the first two movies, again, I'm erasing the other ones from memory. It's just like, oh shit. There's some alien monster killing motherfuckers. We need to do something about this because then he's gonna kill us. Like it didn't feel like the predator was like directly hunting the main girl or whatever until like the very, very end. So I don't know. Am I bugging? Because it didn't feel like there was a sense of urgency in this movie.
No, that was my complaint about the pacing.
Yeah.
That bad pacing.
Yeah. I mean, she did try to raise that a
So
few times. I'm sorry.
Dana?
No.
No. Keep
Oh,
going.
oh,
Okay,
there's a big delay.
it's
Yeah,
gotten
yeah.
bigger. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no.
We were something we were dealing before. Go ahead.
I felt like, I mean, she did try to raise that a few times. I don't know. I dug it. I dug her being quiet, especially in the hunts or attempting to hunt. You
No,
could
but
put,
I'm like saying like the tribe never felt like it was in danger. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. I think he was actually going more for um the 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 white
The
guys.
hunters, but that's a problem too because they're not the main guys. They're just some side dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like your main protagonists, I never felt they were in like deep danger until they were facing the predator head on. Like remember with the first movie, it's like even when in danger when the predator's not on screen, you know like oh this motherfucker's coming. You know, but this one it's like I'm just strolling around killing some shit. Oh, there's some white motherfuckers. I'm gonna go kill them now. You know, but you don't care if he kills those guys. You know.
yeah. That's why I was saying earlier where I feel like, yes, this is a movie about the big hunt, and the predator just so happens to be here.
Yeah, that's a problem for me.
Yeah, I could see that being a
Yeah,
turn off for many.
I do agree with that. I felt like this movie was more sort of it kind of meandered
Yes.
throughout its
Thank you, Carlos. That's the word I was looking for. Meandering.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I do agree with it. Although I will and obviously I can't disagree with Chris's premise about the predator needs to be in a war location.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, especially considering that there is a lot of other places that the predator could have chose that would have been a more suitable habitat.
Yep.
But I do actually like the like how they decided like with the tribe and stuff. It felt like a good a good twist to something like this. Although obviously there could be some inconsistencies to the canon.
Yeah. I want to touch on it because I actually did like the setting. I thought that was interesting, but like you
Yeah.
said, it wasn't well utilized. Because I think that's cool. Like, hey, what would happen if Native Americans took on a predator? That's cool concept.
Period piece.
You know, that's dope. And I do, not to jump ahead, I do hope future Predator movies are more like let's just do little just single standalone movies in different places
Well,
in human
do a
history.
series then.
Yeah, do
They
that. I think that'd be cool because I
series.
like the yeah, go ahead.
No, I would say series are not bound by TV slot times anymore. If you've seen the last season of Stranger Things, that each one was like a movie.
Yeah.
Like each
Oh yeah.
episode was like an hour, 40 minutes, and the last one was 2.5 hours. So you could do period pieces like, hey, what if World War II American soldiers ran into a predator? What if
Oh
pirates
shit.
ran into a predator? What if
Yeah.
the Spartans ran into a predator? What would they
Yeah.
do? Like,
Pirates
and
would
then
be cool.
yeah, you could do any of those period pieces. And if we're, ignore AVP because the whole thing with like, oh, the predator built pyramids for people, all that.
I
All right,
already did.
what?
Fucking
Yeah,
dumb.
we're not talking about that. Just let them go anywhere. They could interact with any type of warrior from any period of time. Hey, fucking Mongolians, run into them. What would
Yeah.
they
The
do, right?
Mongolians.
You
So,
know,
so you're asking for
let's have
Assassin's
some
Creed.
samurai fighting. Let's have Ghost of Tsushima 2,
So,
Predator Edition.
Oh, that would have
so,
been cool.
so you're asking for Assassin's Creed Predator.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed
basically, yeah.
Predator.
Yeah, and you can only go forward because think about it. Like
Yeah.
in this movie, he's fighting Stone Age people. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, what about the actual Bronze Age? Some Trojan War shit going on. You could go so many places. I think
It could,
you go ahead. No, I'm just saying. I think this is a better way of handling this franchise instead of like, oh, let's just repeat the first movie again. Oh, it's a bunch of army dudes trying to fight the Predator. We don't need to do that anymore. You know
they
what I'm
did that
saying?
with the last one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And we
Oh,
saw how
yeah.
that turned out.
Oh,
you know.
oh.
I agree with
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I would have,
basura, bro.
I would have liked. I mean, if you guys, I always go back to this because I gotta speak for my people, man.
Uh-oh.
Have Aztec times when the Spanish come. When they're sacking the cities, that would have been a good. I felt like would have been a good time, because there's a lot of conflict, and there's great setting.
I can just imagine the Predator taking out a motherfucker's heart and shit. and they're like, oh, he's one of us.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I can see you guys found it average.
Yeah, it was just all right. It was all right.
Well, it had good parts and bad
Like
parts.
I said, third best Predator movie by default.
Yes.
For me.
In me, I really loved it. But of course, Twitter is Twitter. We all have our opinions. We're still cool.
I felt and I, just to mention that I felt like a lot of people are overcorrecting to the positive side because I think the expectation for this movie was super low. So I'm seeing a lot of like this is amazing kind of movie, and
You
obviously
read my
it's
tweet?
all.
I saw your tweet.
I didn't want
That's what I had
to.
to verify because I honestly thought that text you sent Dana was a troll. I was like, "There's no fucking way he believes that." So I looked. I'm like, "Oh shit, it's real." You know.
Well, no,
Carlos,
the tweet.
I agree. I agree with that. It's like it was overcorrecting. And obviously, on the other hand, oh, it's fucking trash. No, it's not. You know, come on, guys, let's chill out here. You know.
Oh, and by the way, the Joey tweet did not say it was the greatest movie of all time, but the text
his
did. So
favorite,
there's a discrepancy there.
Oh, well,
Was the
Joey,
great-
man, did you?
Greatest what?
Did you actually say that line? Did you say the greatest movie ever?
Yes, he did. He said greatest movie of all time, of
Okay,
all of the Predators, and it was one of the best in the franchise.
No. I didn't say the greatest movie of all time. I said it's my favorite Predator movie to
Hey, that's more sensible. There you go.
But you
greatest
used
movie.
favorite as greatest. You just used favorite as greatest.
I literally have it right here.
No.
I could make it bigger for you if you want.
Yeah, man, put it on the camera. Let's go. Oh, my man got the fold.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the excuse me?
Oh,
All right. Yeah, Carl's like, hold on, what's that? We're talking to a tech show right now. Okay, go on.
but yeah. So no, I really did enjoy it. But I could totally understand everyone not though. I like so, as much as I did, of course.
Yeah, it's
I thought it was superb.
Wow. Okay, Dana's on that end. You know.
Yes,
No, because
and-
every
and-
Predator movie that we sat through was garbage juice, and then you come with this one. It was unique. It was about it was unique. It was about intelligence versus technology. I love the fact that they used the Native Americans. I loved how they said it in 1719.
19,
So for me, I thought it was superb in the sense that it felt like it was more original than your regular copy and paste sequel we've been seeing for the past 5-10 years.
Actually,
longer,
what's crazy about that was after I saw right before I saw this, I was like trying to recap in my head, like, all right, what was trying to get all of them in my head, and I'm thinking like, oh yeah, the last one was with Adrian Brody. I'm like, oh yeah. And then I forgot about the last one that came out.
the one with Key.
Olivia Munn.
Yeah, Olivia Munn. Yeah,
Yeah.
Predator. I'm gonna admit this. Predators, I didn't bother with. I'm like, because after the AVP movies, like, oh fuck this shit.
Yeah.
You know, and the only reason I went to go see The Predators because it was a screening with Dana. I was like, okay, I'll go, but I would have
screening.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, because oh my god, the AVP movies were so bad.
They were terrible.
They were bad. They were bad.
They were the Freddy versus Jason movies of their time.
Yeah, but The Predator was pretty fucking awful. So that's why I'm not gonna push back when Dana says like this is amazing. Yes, compared to that, obviously, you know.
I mean,
but if you compare it to the original, the GOAT, you know, then we got to temper it back a little bit. And Joey, I said this too because I knew this movie was originally meant to be a theater movie. I am judging it as a theater movie. If this was just made for Hulu, I probably would have been more lenient on it. You know, but it's a theatrical movie. I have to judge it as a theatrical movie. I did the same thing with Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat was meant to be a theatrical movie. I had to judge it because people, oh no, it was just a straight to HBO thing. You got to be a little lenient. No.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be in a theater. You know.
And by the way, I do.
That's why, it sucks because I mean, like, of course, I saw it in my projector with the whole thing, but it's like I know
the flex, you know.
No, but I know like 99% of the people are not watching it like that. So it's like, yo, it sucks because you're not hearing that clackling, him in the trees. Scope, and I'm like, oh, that get the goosebumps going. But yeah, I know it's not it's not the same.
But all that shit doesn't change the core story, though. You know?
No, for sure. Yeah. Which I enjoyed.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
And God damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, we Tony mentioned Mortal Kombat. Compared to Mortal Kombat, this is a masterpiece.
Oh
yeah,
absolutely.
Man.
You know, trash,
yes.
And the fucking Matrix Revolutions. This is better than it. Revelation. What the fuck was called?
Yeah, Revolution.
That was
the last two Matrix movies.
This movie was not trash. Prey was not trash compared to the last like 4 movies. You know,
it really sucks because it's like, damn, I literally would have went to the theaters to see this. Only because I'm a fan of this director, so I was on board and I was like muting everything because I don't want to hear no spoilers and all that. So and then it's like, damn, like, and then I heard why it didn't go to the theater. And
Bullshit,
Yeah, I was like, wow, you guys are stingy.
Yeah,
I can't even get my Dominican Batgirl, and now this. Come on, man. I can't win over it. We would have had a Platano Batgirl.
Yeah, Yeah.
Well,
I don't know about all that. Anyway, go ahead, Dana.
See, if David Zasloff was in charge, we would never gotten those last two movies about Mortal Kombat and the last Matrix.
Dude, watch out!
Watch out! Yeah, Dana, I don't know. I couldn't understand what you said. Something about Mortal Kombat movies and Matrix movies not being made because of something.
I'm saying that it was actually. No, I said that maybe, if David was in charge, we wouldn't have gotten the Mortal Kombat movie and the last Matrix movie.
David who?
Zaslow,
David
the head of
Zaslow.
Warner Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, if he was here earlier, we wouldn't have gone.
The guy who canceled everything.
Well, I will say, I will say
those things needed to be canceled. I'm sorry, Joey. I know you wanted it. Cancel that fucking Batgirl shit. No, I'm sorry. I look terrible.
No, I'm not really. I just want to see a Dominican girl. I'm not really watching it.
Well, you get Renee Montoya. There you go. You get her in one of these movies. You'll be all right. And she wouldn't have to be race swapped either. It's just she's always been Dominican.
Restore the Snyder cut. No.
I will say this. I rewatched the movie not too long ago.
Yeah.
And this, I'm pretty sure this is the best WB movie, at least superhero kind of movie, is the Suicide Squad. That movie gets better every time I watch it.
The Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, we got to get the in there.
Oh, you know how I feel about Suicide Squad.
Yeah, by the way, that movie, Suicide Squad, celebrated 6 years, and people are actually like, oh my God, this movie is good. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Release the air cut.
The Suicide Squad, I agree with you, Carlos, underrated.
It's really good, and it looks amazing on 4K Blu-ray.
Yeah, on my TV.
TV.
Anyway, because I know Dana's being a little like, with the lagging and shit. Dana, do we want to do anything else with this? Because I think we kind of said everything.
I think we covered everything to this movie.
Yep,
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, it's on Hulu. Go watch it. It doesn't hurt. Go watch it. But see, Joey, I said go watch it. I didn't say avoid it. It's on Hulu. Why the fuck not? Right? And it's
a free trial. Go
and it's not long. A lot of these fucking movies last 50 years. This one was to the point.
An hour and like 45 minutes. Or something.
Not bad. Remember when movies used to be that long? Now everything's like 2.5 hours and shit. Even the Batman and that movie kind of gets better over time because I thought it was just okay. That one little too long too, even though I liked it. Watch out.
That's my top of the years right there.
Yeah. Oh no, I think that movie's the best movie of 2022 just by default. To be honest.
And that's one of those movies that keeps getting better for me every time I watch it.
Yeah.
It's in my top 3.
Oh, Carlos, man, that Nirvana though,
That's okay to eat fish.
Oh man. So Dana, if you don't mind, I'll just do this part because all the lag and stuff. So yeah, final thoughts on the Prey. Dana, we'll start with you first. Wait for the lag. Oh, Dana, did you not hear me? Oh, it said like that bad. Damn.
You got that Nintendo service over there.
Yeah.
No, I will say in New York, there is a storm coming through.
Okay. Dana, can you hear me?
I don't think she can hear us.
I don't think she can. Damn, this shit's getting real bad.
She muted herself.
Or she muted herself. All right. I guess we'll get to her last. Joey, what do you think of the movie? Overall thoughts?
I know many people's complaints. I really did enjoy it. Really actually did enjoy it. It's up there in my tops of the year, next to Everything Everywhere All at Once and the Batman. So it's a double for me. It's a double thumbs for me.
Cool. What's Siskel and Ebert? Let's go. Carlos.
Yeah, I thought it was a fine movie. I I enjoyed. I didn't feel like I wasted my time by watching it, so it's always a good thing. Um, like you guys mentioned, I don't think there needs to be a sequel. I feel like standalone, this is a pretty good contained experience, and yeah, this is the first time I've said something positive about a Predator movie in probably decades. So,
You know,
um, well, that's a good
in
thing.
30 years. Wow. I just realized because the second one came out in 1990, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
I was two.
Yeah. Yeah, I was 10. I didn't see it when it first came out. I think I saw it a year afterwards. Yeah, damn.
Damn.
Yeah, that's saying something.
You
That's like
know, all
eight.
right. Yeah, right. Chris, final thoughts.
Um, Overall, it's probably the best movie Hulu has on it right now. But
You know.
in terms of Predator movies, it's in the middle, for me. And I think there was missed opportunities. There was great cinematography. I thought the practical effects of the Predator was good. The brutality was good. Some of the decisions with the brutality didn't make sense though. They pulled away for some shots, but then he impales guys. In other shots, skin a snake live, but you can't show the French fur guys getting blown up. I don't get that.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that was dumb. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I agree.
yeah. I mean, it's either one or the other. I think it's missed opportunity showing her overcoming the struggles of like her not getting respected because she's woman and pulling her tribe together to fight the predator. Instead, she did everything by herself, which made things kind of unrealistic. Was a movie about an alien that comes to hunt people, so there's that aspect. I felt the characterization of the fur trappers was a little too base. They were a little too like cavemen and not.
Yeah, I didn't like that. They were cartoonish,
They were
you know.
cartoonishly
It was like,
evil.
oh, white
Yeah,
man evil. It's like, yeah,
yeah.
some were, but it's like, come on, you had it. Yeah, I didn't get into that, but that bothered me too. They were just cartoonishly evil,
They
you
were they
know.
were they were they were passively dehumanized. They didn't subtitle what they were saying, so you couldn't
Yeah,
understand. Unless you knew French, you don't understand what they're saying to each other. And the only guy who was somewhat civilized was the translator guy, who she helped later on.
yeah.
Everyone else
Although,
was
yeah, I will say this though, I didn't mind them not being translated because she wouldn't understand them, you know. So I
right.
was okay with that. But I see
Yeah,
what
but
you're saying. Yeah,
there was things that accommodated us. In terms of how they were the Comanche were interacting with each other, and also the whole thing with I complained about before. It's like, why is the predator cloaking all the time if he's running at everything? It makes no
yeah, that
sense.
was
Like,
stupid.
stealth is for a reason. You're not acting
Yeah.
stealthy at all. So, but that was for our benefit. Benefit. It's like, no, it's an effect. It looks cool, but it makes no sense. He's covered in blood and he's running through a field, stomping and blasting trees. It's like, something's there. It's like, don't do that. So at the same time, yes, I felt that the fur trappers were characterized a little too cartoonishly
Yeah,
villainous.
that bothered me.
Um, and while I did like the how everything played out with her killing the predator, how she got there, didn't make much sense. And again, I have a problem with the character who uh, I don't I misspoke. If I said character arc, I didn't really care about that. I agree with Carlos. I said her energy level was wrong. Like, her struggle from beginning to end of the movie. This is one continuous narrative. It's not like there's weeks or months that pass by. This is over a span of days. She gets knocked out, she gets beat up, she's fighting this alien, and her tone and her energy level stays the same through the whole movie. She's like a plank of wood. So I felt her acting in this movie was poor. And I honestly like the brother. I liked some of the other characters around her. I liked the translator. Her character I felt was poorly done.
Yeah, just jumping on that, like I said, and Joey, you weren't here for this part. I wasn't a fan of her. I didn't like the fact that it was just there's this movie about this girl, and there just so happens to be a predator around. I think I just forgave a lot of her because she was a pretty wooden actress. I forgave a lot of it because I'm a guy. She's pretty. I was able to overlook that. She was very beautiful, you know. But yeah, it was just again, I know you have to suspend your disbelief. There's a giant alien monster running around, but it's like this is 100-pound girl. doing all this shit. Meanwhile, Arnold, this big beefy dude, was getting fucked up by the Predator. It's like it was a little too much. It would have been nice if they would have had her like be a little bit more cunning and stuff. And at the same time, I wish the Predator would have been more cunning too. But he came off as dumber than her. But other than that, the movie was just all right. Again, the setting was kind of interesting. Some things that were going on. I I wish they would have used more practical effects for the brutality. It was just too much CG. The CG animals, I couldn't stand any of that shit. Use actual animals and then CG where you kind of need to. Again, I know it's dangerous to get a bear in the line, but we've had these things in movies before. We could do it again. But other than that, yeah, it was all right. Doesn't beat the GOAT, the first one. That movie's just power.
By the way, if you guys want a good movie with a good CG bear, go watch The Revenant. It's like this movie without the Predator.
Yeah,
uh,
I've been meaning
I,
to watch that movie. That movie looks dope, but I haven't seen it
I
yet.
I will tell you this: if a slow buildup is something that bothers you, The Revenant is the king of slow buildups because
Yeah,
that
but
one take
but
over.
how's the payoff though? I don't mind
Uh,
slow buildups as long as that payoff is good.
I feel like it's just a really good movie.
Yeah.
It's funny because this movie reminds me a lot of The Revenant. Like there's the bear, there's the tribes and the scenery. I feel like the location I think is similar too, like around the same general area.
With the Great
Um,
Plains.
yeah, I think it's
I thought
surrounding there.
Revenant was in Canada, wasn't it? I could be wrong about that.
I think it's like the people that are trying to cross to I forgot
The
what they call it.
Comanche, right? Aren't they the Comanche?
Don't quote me on that. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
In the
it
Predator, they were. I don't know about the Revenant.
yeah, in the Predator they were, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the Revenant. But yeah, there's a I think it was in Canada, the Revenant.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of sort of parallels, ironic parallels in this.
But that
Yeah,
bear scene in The Revenant,
yeah, that's a really good that's a really good bear scene.
Yeah. Again, man, just missed opportunity because I like that concept. Native Americans versus Predator. That's fucking cool. It's just they didn't fully utilize it, in my opinion. All right, let's try this again. Dana, last thoughts. You're muted now.
and
almost
I'm
there.
and I'm muted.
There you go.
are.
Sorry about that. I'm almost there. No, final thoughts. I thought that this was a good movie. And you guys have picked apart, and I still think it's a good movie, especially the fact that you're watching it at home. You're not paying over $20 for it. I thought they did, very well, especially compared to the movies of the past. So for me, it was very enjoyable. I had no huge issues with it, and I kind of liked everything. It felt again like it was very unique in that sense of people they meant technology versus intelligence. So for me, very good. So
Cool.
sorry.
You don't have to apologize for that. You like it, you like it. You know. All right, let's get some plugs in here. Carlos, why don't you do the plugs for Throwdown?
Yeah, make sure to catch me, Chris, and Tony on Throwdown every Thursday and Sunday. Thursday is the main show where we talk about all things video games, all the news topics going on, and our Sunday show is where we talk about all the questions the fans give us about gaming. So if you guys ever want to catch us, it's on at Throwdown Show on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. We have a Discord. It's in our links, in our Twitter links. So make sure to join our Discord. That's where you can ask the questions, and we'll be on tonight to go over the questions of this week. So yeah, throw it on show.
Good stuff. All right, Joey, what you got, man? Where can people find you?
Just my Twitter's _ Brooklyn Bear. I'm trying to get the underscore taken away, but _ Brooklyn Bear. You got my
All right.
memes.
And Dana, plug the Koalition stuff.
The Koalition stuff, we do video games, movie, TV reviews. I am currently in 3 different press conferences. We have She-Hulk, a bunch of interviews that have already happened that I have to post, and we big press conference coming up this week. We're going to have reviews about it. We also have Raising Kanan that already started. Our spoiler-free is already on, and also on YouTube. So catch us at thecoalition.com. And we have a whole bunch of other stuff. I am currently November in terms of TV shows. So this November of this year. So we'll have review ups. So,
Good stuff.
wonderful.
All right, sign us off.
Okay. So, once again, thank you for watching us. Have a great day, afternoon, and evening, and we'll catch you later. Bye, everyone. Oh my God.
Deuces.
End.
The deuces.
Deuces.
We're getting there.
The show don't want to end.
Jeez
It's like no,
Louise.
I'm
I
staying right here.
I do have to drop,
It's
guys. I need to
there?
see what happened with the car.
No, it's, yeah, we're still
Oh
live.
yeah.